Yeah, you can start it. We could talk before or after. All right. Good morning. Open the meeting for the Thorntown Board Utility Meeting for January 16th, 2026 at 8:21 a.m. We've got myself, Eric Smith, Earl Parsons, and Matt Raridan present. Matt, welcome.
Thank you.
You got your email?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Set up.
You got it set up?
Yep.
Excellent. Pat's not here, so I'll skip on to the next item I wanted to talk about. Action items from last meeting. I reached out to Dan Cutshaw early this morning. Should have done it sooner in regards to the record drawings on Arbor Home, including like the lift station, etc. The record drawings would dictate what they've installed and where. So we need to get a copy of that. So we'll wait for a response from him.
Good.
I reached out to Dan last time to get the drawings and specs. He sent those, but yesterday I got the construction set published. An email. I have not reviewed those drawing sets yet, but this is the set that we need to get a full-size printed copy of the spec and the drawings. Do you want me to send the files to Minute Print it, Earl?
Dan will provide us another one like he did last time?
Not full-size. He'll give us 11 by 17s. I think we need to get the full-size for this one.
Is that the only way we have to get them done? Just Minute Print?
We could find another copy.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I mean,
a copy. We could find another copy. But we have an account with Minute Print it,
Minute Print.
or you don't want a paper copy.
No.
Because I did look through the drawings and there's some items on the electrical side that I think they should change.
Okay. Yeah, let's just have them do it. We have a good relationship with them. So
Okay.
We should stay with them.
All right. I'll go ahead and get those files over to them and get it initiated so we can get a full set. One set, we'll just get one set.
Okay.
I have them electronically as well. So if you have the format of looking at them electronically, you can get your email.
Yeah, that's
okay. It's a big file.
Okay.
It's a big file. So I don't know. It'll be a link. I'll see how I can do that.
Okay.
Is it going to be possible early we can schedule some time to go over the drawings together with your team?
Sure.
What's your schedule look like?
As far as when?
Time to we can all sit down and go over it.
Any day and every day you're talking about?
Yeah.
Sure, I'm open to whatever you guys think you can work out. I don't have anything so set in stone.
Okay. I'm looking at my calendar right now. I've got to review the new set of drawings. I'll do that tomorrow. I'm out of town Monday and Tuesday next week. So my earliest, do you want to meet up next Friday? It's probably the easiest I could do.
You already have time in mind? You let me know.
8 a.m.
Okay.
And of course, invite anyone from the team that wants to go. Like I said, I saw some items on the electrical side that I would suggest to make changes. That's where I guess know the most. Things that just want to consider is, I got it in my notes. I'll hit the next spot. I'm jumping ahead. You talked about some maintenance projects and needed projects. You had time to compile a list.
No.
Okay.
That's probably something that, well, right now we're in the middle of rearranging our garage. So we know what kind of space we're in need of. We've built some shelving.
So you actually already started now.
Oh, yeah. So we actually started this a couple months ago, just what we could do with what we had. And in fact, actually, we started organizing. You've walked through the room that we redid with shelving, so we could actually put things in order. But anyway, we're carrying that all the way through the garage. Now, it's not over the top big time. It's just we did some painting, we did some rearranging, we got rid of trash, we've organized, we built some shelves to organize. Once we get that area done, we'll have a better idea of what we have left over as far as rotating through and we'll work. So we plan on start in the back, where it's the easiest to work through, and it was the idea of what we talked about, going all the way to the front wall of the office, making it all the way through the building. So as we get closer, I'll come to you with some really bigger issues to get your input on.
At some point in time, I'd like to take a tour because I haven't been in any of the facilities.
Sure.
So.
Perfect. Thank you, Earl. There was a soft item. We were talking about the 4-bay equipment shop and coordinating with CDS with their potential plans for the potential mechanized plant and location. I don't know if you had a chance to reach out to them on any of
No,
that.
I have not talked to you. Dan about that.
The last time we talked about meter deposits, a snafu popped up there, and I need to follow up with Allie. The issue with the meter deposits, we have a substantial amount of money in meter deposits. We wanted to put it in the trust fund, Indiana, to yield some interest, 4% and change. The problem with that is that earning interest on that account may complicate meter refunds. So Allie is barking up the tree of the accountant to confirm exactly what that means, basically stating maybe we just can't put it in the trust Indiana
Okay.
is what it basically comes down to, and we're not allowed to earn interest on it, which is kind of an odd thing. But
Really? Did she say that, or she just thinks that?
no, that's what the accountant said, and she pushed back and said, I hear you, but I need more. So she wasn't satisfied with the answer. I got the financials, and I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around them. They're pretty, there's a lot of terminology in there I don't understand. But in general, what I did was I did a slice in time and looked at the beginning of the year amount and the end of year amount. And in all cases, they're plus, so we didn't go down. But essentially, the electric was $38,000 more, which basically is a wash. The water is 377 grand more, which makes sense. And then sewage was 130 grand more. And again, it's a slice in time. It just depends on when things hit. And this is based on a report that Allie ran on the 8th of January. So it just depends on when the bills hit. But I was trying to do a slice in time to see where we were at. I know Max put together a dashboard report. I worked on that dashboard report at length, ad nauseum this morning, trying to get my head wrapped around it. And there's a lot of numbers in there I don't understand how we develop them. And I think that most of the numbers that we need to look at are already in the report, and we just need to pull them out, stating that we don't need to create a dashboard report. It's already there. Allie mentioned that Jared Crone is going to be at the next meeting to describe the bond issuance for the water treatment plant. I don't know if we need to have the attorney there. He's going to explain it to us, how the process works, the ins and outs, and the financials. So that's all the information I just got from Allie about 5 minutes ago.
That's for the water plant?
Correct.
I thought we were way down the road on that, man. I guess not.
Apparently not. He's going to explain it to us. The new water treatment plant, we need to get with IMPA to identify any costs. The size of the plant's getting larger, and we need to ensure that we've got the available voltage and phasing out there, and that the circuit currently feeding the plant can feed the new plant as well.
So the engineers reached out to me. I reached out to IMPA. I've connected IMPA with the engineers. They're supposed to be working that all out, and that was maybe a month ago.
Okay.
That we did that. So I'm hoping that they're already kind of established a relationship and are communicating.
Okay.
I haven't heard from either one of them saying they're not.
Who do we need to follow up with? Because I'd hate to have costs come down the pipe that we just weren't aware of.
I can contact Clint. Clint Richards is the guy from IMPA who I contacted this. And I don't recall the guy from CDS because it's a name I've never heard of before. It's not Nathan or Dan. So either one.
It's probably the electric engineer. I can't remember his name. The fear or the concern is the circuit that's currently out there needs to be completely replaced or some degree like that. And then all of a sudden there's a 50, 100, whatever, a number we didn't account on being added. And that's a concern. And then the other piece is we need to identify the available short circuit from the utility to the plant. And that's pertinent for the electric system. It's talking to Mr. Adams.
Mike Adams.
Mike Adams. And I don't know where they're at in having this entire system mapped out with GIS, meaning they can calculate available fault current at different locations. That leads into the electrical equipment, which determines IC rating of the equipment. It's a safety issue for employees. And so you can do what they call a infinite, meaning you're guessing, short circuit value, which is energy provided point, but that's not realistic.
Yeah.
And of course, the concern is that you've got utility power going out there. We just need to ensure that it's solid and in good shape and no surprises, especially cost. Is there an opportunity to take a look at the IMPA contracts? I just want to see what the relationship is there, what they're bound to.
That's a good thought, because I asked Alec the same thing. She'd be the one to provide it to us.
All right.
And, yeah, there's some questions that I have. But I think, yeah, the answer to your question is yes.
Got it. All right. I would have assumed that you, oh, that's surprising. All right. We need to definitely get you the
Well,
loop.
whatever contract we've ever had. Now, are you talking about our overall initial agreement with them since they came on board
Everything.
4 or 5 years
Yeah.
ago?
I don't know.
Never seen that, don't even know where it's at.
Okay.
I asked her, she said they had it over there in that office.
Okay. I just want to understand what our contractual obligation is with one another.
Yeah.
Because right now, I mean, they're providing essentially all these services, and I don't know what services they're providing per contract.
Makes sense.
I know we talked about SOP procedures on excavating. I just want to make sure that we get that. I don't know if we can codify it, if you just have a standard SOP, but my thought was that anytime we're doing excavation around any major utility line, that we have one of our guys there that can do a full stop. And we also have a vacuum truck. We have procedures that our guys know that everyone must follow. And if we catch anyone violating those, it's like, nope, stop, can't move forward. We need to get that with some, I don't know, teeth, but we need to make sure that we have procedures to ensure that we don't hit any lines ever again. Now, I know that's a big wish, but we can only do what we can do. And procedurally, that's what we need to do to avoid all the headaches. So we just need to get that procedure black and white. I'll help with whatever you need, Earl.
Well,
Take
what my
lead on
thought
it.
was on that, as I thought about what we talked about, I probably really need to go to Bob Clutter and say, hey, do we need a resolution on this? Like you wrote up the resolution for us before, so that it's in black and white and we have something to fall back on, rather than something that we write up as a little group and say, well, this exists.
I prefer to have it what you just stated, because that gives it some more teeth. That way,
You would
it's,
write up the SOPs at that point.
He would make sure that they're, now we can give him the ideas, which is what
Yeah.
we do. And he puts in the legalese so we can fall back on it and have some foundation to fight if someone would argue this. I don't think in this case, with the subject we're talking about, I think it's an issue.
but we don't want a contractor to show up and we know he's supposed to have two things and he only has one thing, right? And
Sure.
then that's why we didn't have that included in the cost. It's like, well, you should have, it's in our ordinance, right? So we just need to make sure that we can do as much as possible to not have any disruption or service from construction ever again. Now, again, it's not realistic. It's going to happen. However, we can do what we can do. Procedurally speaking, Earl knows what he wants to get out there, vacuum truck, one of our utility guys out there who knows the procedure, who's bird dogging it.
Yeah.
Contractor needs to include all these costs in his bid or whatever they do for us. So there's not a surprise. It's everyone knows what we expect. I know it's going to essentially be more expensive for excavation, but yeah, that's the
It's just
cost.
crazy to me there's no SOPs in place already.
That's just kind of the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
I'll wait till Earl's taking notes. Give you a minute to catch
Go
up.
ahead, man, you go.
All right. House Bill 1459. I read through that and I'm just not educated enough to know all the bits and pieces on this, but I will tell you what I found. And I could share my notes with you real quick. House Bill 459 is a new bill that came out that talks about water and wastewater utility asset management. Essentially, every 4 years, you got to do some reporting. And then the body that's governing it needs training, which everything in here makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Now, and compliance enforcement. The first 4 years is just simply filling out apparently a questionnaire. It's nothing complicated. However, as time goes on, the idea, of course, and I know where it's going, you need qualified, trained people that know what they're looking at. It's essentially what it is, including us, right? And one of my questions, of course, is I certainly would like an opportunity to attend any training events to get better at managing and working in utility. And I don't know where to go and get those pieces. So I was going to follow up the tree with IMPA, maybe talk to Bob, see what is out there, because I've always been on the receiving side on the electric power, but not on the management on the utility side. So I really want to understand what kind of nut we have here. But that House Bill 1459, we probably need to check with Bob Clutter on that as well to see if it impacts us and what happens. Or Earl, if you've got an update on it as well, I'm sure.
First off, I've read that thing probably 4 times. It's up on my computer right now. And a couple things. One, the question is still, does it apply to us? 2, that I couldn't find some sort of template to do this reporting or to give them their feedback that they're asking for. They're saying with this information, okay, will I just write on a piece of paper and give it to you? Or so, and the third idea would be we did a asset assessment for maybe a year. It might still be going on. I think it is. And is that what they're looking for? Someone who comes. So, and this went to Allie, which was going to go to Amy. I'll have to follow with Allie to see where we're at on this, to again see what Amy's thought is. Is this something that even applies to us? And if you recall, part of the reaction of some of that response was, hey man, this might be a $30, $40, or $50,000 venture for communities to actually comply with. You can't be expecting us to eat this bill.
At the same time, while they cut funding to those small communities as well.
So there's
It's a
still
double
some
whammy.
question about whether or not this even applies to us, but let me follow back up.
So I'm confused about this. Are they sending people out to do this, or are we sending them reports?
We send them reports. Here, I'll give you a quick overview of 1459. It's water and wastewater, not the electric utility asset management. It was signed into law April 16th. It strengthens the oversight and long-term planning requirements for Indiana water and wastewater utilities, particularly those not regulated by the IURC, which is the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission. Okay. So there are small municipalities that they're just not, apparently not monitored by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, which means what? Well, that means there's no oversight body looking down to say, are you operating the water treatment plant properly? Right. Which is a pretty big thing, right? So now we have to turn in water reports and et cetera, so on. So I don't believe that, my assertion is I think we're already good here. But again, we need a lawyer to read the legalese because that bill is very difficult. Any bill is difficult to read.
Yeah.
So every 4 years, you have to do a asset management starting January 1st, 2026. Exempt water and wastewater utilities must submit a report. I don't believe we're exempt. I believe we follow the IURC, so we are regulated.
Okay.
So I don't think this applies to us.
Which,
But
real quick, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Which, going back to the original wording, would mean we're not under that bill. Because the first wording said those that are not under the IURC. If we are, so that gets the question whether or not this even applies to us.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think we're still, the question is whether it even applies to us. Continue.
Correct.
But how would you find out if it applied to us or not?
Well, to talk to the attorney.
Good.
I mean, yeah, just that's what our attorney, we have to hit him up and
Gotcha.
so he gets paid to do. So the governing body training, so everyone has to be trained, utility governing body, and must be required to training or continue education at least once every 4-year cycle. Training coverage talks about fiduciary responsibility, environmental compliance, financial management. That stuff sounds good to me. I think we should all attend, a meeting every 4 years or training to an 8-hour day to ensure that we are compliant and know what we're supposed to be doing and do it well. So that doesn't sound like it's an outlandish request to me at all. Let's see. It's every 4 years, they're going to go through this process. And the law, so who must comply? The law broadly applies to public utilities, municipal utilities, which is us, not-for-profit cooperatives and conservancy districts, and regional water districts. So in summary, the House Bill 14.5 established a comprehensive oversight framework requiring regular reporting, which we do, capability certification, training, transparency, and potential enforcement for water and wastewater utilities. It's going to improve accountability. I mean, on paper, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does.
Where the issue on the chatter that Earl was talking about in the email is you have small communities that are barely getting by, and if they have to do all this reporting, it's going to require an outside consultant to do it. And that outside consultant's probably going to be like, $30,000, $40,000. In addition, with the cut in property taxes from SB 01, it's already put these municipalities at a disadvantage.
Okay. So, Uh-huh. Okay. I'll stop by after a bit. Sure. Okay. Oh, yeah, no problem. Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, I'll see you.
Give me a chance to catch up on my notes. On the electric side, are there any regulatory issues, deadlines, anything like that that's coming about?
Nothing I'm aware of.
Okay. Any complaints?
Nothing I'm aware of.
Okay. Same on the water. Any regulatory issues coming up, testing, anything like that? Any complaints? Okay. 2-week look ahead. What you got rolling in the next couple weeks?
Well, Chris is on vacation this coming week. Which on a 3-man crew kind of makes a huge difference, you know.
You gonna be all right?
Yeah, we're fine. Shoot, dude. 2 years of Gary and I. Gary went on vacation all the time. It was only me. So, heck yeah, man. No, we're fine. Depending on the weather. You know, when the weather gets bad, we stick to inside projects. Obviously, I told you we're working on it, which I think is a big deal.
It is a big
You
deal.
walk through the garages. Jack Hutchins, who was the superintendent before here, and his dad was, you gotta remember, I'm only the 4th superintendent, so the town has only gone through a few, starting in the late 50s when he created this. So you haven't had a lot of different approaches and different thoughts go through. Jack, middle Jack now, so it's his son, came through, I don't know, not even a year ago. Gary was already gone. He walked through and that's exactly the same way. That's exactly the same way. That's exactly. So I think, man, Gary ran the show for 20 years. And fine, if it works for you, it works for you. But my point is this. We're trying to make the whole thing. So we're going to spend some time in this, while we have this type of weather, indoor, trying to get things more organized, more professional, cleaner, you know.
Make it more efficient too.
Right. And so we'll do
Yep.
that. So for the next
Perfect.
2 weeks, which the weather's going to be the way it is, the only thing we really have to start looking forward is we have every intention to get back out the leaves. We're looking at a period where the sunshine, just enough wind blows to dry it out. Even if we have 2 or 3 days of sunshine, it would do some good because the core leaves are still.
Yep.
Dave Williams wants us to get up on Iden's building, see if we can't get those lights working again so we match everything. And as a side note to that, they're doing a grand opening across the street over there, February 6th. Braden has asked us to leave the lights on through his opening. Normally we kill on February 1st. I told him to leave them on.
Yeah.
So.
That's nice. A grand
That's cool.
opening. I'm
We're
excited.
gonna see that happen. But as far as the next 2 weeks go, hopefully, because I really want to get this stuff done, we'll be inside.
So interior, you're working on the interior, leaf pickup if there's a break in the weather, going to fix some, is holiday lights, is that correct for Dave Williams?
Christmas, yeah.
Okay.
Christmas, the buildings and the snowflakes, we're leaving them
And
all
then
up.
February 6th, grand opening, leave lights on.
Yeah,
Usually
how
shut them off.
long it's gonna take you to organize the garage?
Oh my gosh.
Just take, after the meeting, if you got time, take a walk through. I mean, it's not like it's a mile-long facility or
Yeah.
anything.
I'd love to.
No, it'll be a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Because what you do on the meantime, you still have outreach to do. We have beer reading next week. You still have the person who calls up and say, hey, you still got that branch that falls in the road. We still got to take care of all the trash that accumulates in this building and that building. We do all that. We'll push the brush pile up on a regular basis. So you still have all the sampling and water testing that we do. So when we get another break in the weather, we'll be outside. We have some trees that we need to trim ourselves. We got back from signs in the streets. So that'll be our next big outdoor thing until we get to the spring and start doing our outdoor work.
And then we still have the tree trimmer.
They're in town for, I just told them that, 2 weeks for sure, probably longer. Because once the weather starts hitting like it did, just, they have to stop it. You can't be up there with a truck with the wind blowing, cutting areas and stuff. It's dangerous, one, and you can't control it.
No, there's limitations to it, yeah. So as weather permits, they're going to continue to work through it.
But like what temperature wise, like, I mean, with it getting into January and February, I mean, the temperature's gonna be cold, windy, I mean, from here until March, right?
Right. Well, I don't think it's necessarily temperature as far as wind
and or rain or snow.
Okay.
I don't think that they find conducive to what they're trying to get done. They are
Yeah, we
working
don't
around
want-
power lines, so it's,
You don't want to
hurt.
slip
Yeah, you don't
and
want
things
to
of that
hurt.
nature. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think if it's dry out and the sun's out and there's no wind, you can, and it's cold out, but if the sun's out, you can
Yeah,
work.
it's
But if it's icy, wet, rain, snowy,
That makes sense.
it's dangerous. So why risk it, right? Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I want to discuss. Yeah, I'll talk. Yeah, that's all I've got. Matt, do you have anything?
not currently.
Any questions?
Not currently.
Okay.
Have they set up a meeting with John to come in and talk to us?
There's some emails floating about, but
Okay.
yeah, at this point, I
Nothing
am
with that.
not in the know other than the email I received in regards to that.
Okay.
Earl, do you have anything you want to talk about?
Yeah,
Sir?
let me, without going into great detail, let me have you guys read this first, so one for both of you.
As stated.
Professional?
Yeah, looks good.
So, obviously, I haven't heard anything response to it at all. I have not a complaint, I sure will, and obviously there's nobody here today. But, anyway, the process that we talked about is started.
Yep.
And we'll give it another 2 weeks, because it's February 1st, and it says on there.
Yep.
And I'll get back with you guys and let you know where we go from there. Now, my thought is, obviously, we're open, we're saying, hey, what's your thoughts on it? Asking them.
Yeah.
But the argument of what I heard this summer as opposed to what you are consuming and or not paying for, two totally
Yeah,
different.
two totally different
completely
things.
different. So where we go from here, my thought is obviously we just start the letter process, the paper trail, and do what we have to do to.
We have procedures. This is how we do
Yeah.
it, just like with everyone else.
Hopefully we'll have
It's not
some-
personal. It's just what it is. What it is.
So without going into great detail for
Yeah.
everybody to consume, I'm just letting you read that
Perfect.
and let you know that's where we're at on that.
Yeah, looks good.
And again, we have 2 meetings a month.
Yeah.
And town board has 2 meetings a month, so there's 4 opportunities. There's no reason for anyone to go outside above and beyond those 4 opportunities unless specifically requested. And my opinion is never talk alone. Always have a group available, which is why we have these meetings. So.
Yeah.
The other thing is we talked about tree trimming. I will let you know, I heard from a resident that they weren't happy with the amount of tree trimming that was done on their tree. I did not respond. The person that contacted me is actually involved with the need for tree trimming without going into detail just yet. But at the point of time where a call is made, hey, my tree got butchered, well, I can't glue the limbs back on.
Yeah.
And the line that the Mid City team was working on is the worst line in town. I'm just telling you.
Worst line because
Because limbs are always hitting, always
Oh, okay.
blowing fuses. If I'm getting a call for a fuse, it's a line fuse, because there's a difference between a transformer fuse and a line fuse. When I'm getting a call for a line fuse where multiple houses down the row are done out, it's always in this one area. It's because the lines run through a bunch of trees.
Yeah.
It needed extensive work, and I did hear from somebody that said they were gonna contact you guys about it. Apparently you haven't been contacted. So I'm just letting you know, and we'll talk about it here in a few minutes, more detail, but I'm just letting you know, I did hear from somebody. But other than that, I think the crew, Mid City crew, is doing exactly what we needed to do.
So just for clarification, this is a tree in
That was
the
their
easement
power line.
or in their secondary, or it's in our primary line.
Both.
Okay.
So by regulation, they are to come back 15 feet. They haven't done that. They've allowed not quite 15. I wish they'd cut it back 15, but they can go back as far as they feel. In the easement, in the lines,
literally speaking, you have no say about it all. They
Yeah.
can come in and cut your whole tree down if they want to. They
Correct.
can. And you can argue and yell and scream all day long, but you have nothing to say about it. And yes, they can drive through the yard if they need access. It's just part of utilities.
Yeah.
So, this was, we're gonna go in and we're gonna cut what's on our side, up in the lines. We're not touching your side. So now you got a tree that comes up like this, chop, 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 but continue to grow toward the house. You know, they're out there to really make a tree look pretty. They're
Yeah,
there
they're
to
just
clear
trying to keep it
lines.
wise, yeah.
And ultimately, I hate to say this, but I don't hate to say it. It sounds like I'm being kind of an ass. Trim it yourself, man. I mean, if you don't want them trimming your trees, you got to trim them yourself.
Yeah.
That or they're going to come in and trim them as they see fit, not as they think you think it's aesthetically pleasant. Anyway, I'm just letting you know. Someone reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm not happy with how my tree got trimmed."
Well, it's not a, it is a function of reliability for the entire town.
Yep.
If the tree is impeding into the utility lines and it gets cut, if you want power, that's what it takes.
Yep.
It's unfortunate. I understand people like their trees, but if you want power, you got to make a choice. What do you
Right.
want? You want power, reliable power? You're going to complain about losing power. It's just the reality, and things have to be maintained. And like Earl said, if they're unhappy, it's like, I'm sorry, you can do it yourself next time, which isn't going to happen.
Right.
Because no one wants to pay for it. These guys aren't there they're not, what do they call it when they trim bushes to look like dogs and animals? That's not what they do, right?
Yeah.
This is to maintain power lines. This is a pure function of use of engineering.
I think it's fair to say that whether we're talking about tree trimming, even leaf pickup, anything at all that there's a fine line. Everyone wants the service. They want the convenience of the technology, but just don't interfere with what I consider mine. Don't trim my bush. Don't drive through my yard. You can't have it both ways sometimes. Sometimes if you want that line coming in your house, you have to cut your tree down, get rid of it. So whether we did or you did is irrelevant, but if you want your electricity, you know, I'll tell you how petty it is sometimes. We have people who say, "Hey, I want that street light in front of the house. I don't want it shine on my house. Can you come over and block off the refractor just on my side of the house?"
Wow.
And we do it, but if you think about it, really? You can't put a curtain up? Really can't close your blinds? Well, I don't really want my blinds closed. So we have done that for people, but I'm telling you that's
Life's all about choices.
that. I got
So you
another
know
thing
what I would do.
off that we'll talk about, but not to do with that. I will let you know, I got the brand new estimate proposal from IMPA. I've already forwarded it to Harbor Homes. It does in fact involve a 6.2% increase in the labor.
Yep.
Which makes sense, which was the big argument before. I have not heard
And
back.
if they deny it again, it's going to go up again.
Well, I guess I'm at the point, and I asked IMPA, I said, if me asking you to redo this, are we incurring any fees at all? Are you charging us in engineering? Are you caught for commerce, whatever? No, we are not. It is not caught. I said, okay, well, I let IMPA know, this is my guess, that my understanding from your guys' conversations, our discussions of this, is that we're not interested in a third one. We've done 2 estimate proposals now. This is it.
How many days is the proposal good for?
30 days.
Okay.
And we drug the other one out 4 months. So it was September. They got the first one in September. He hauled, didn't want. We gave them a material list. They checked it over. Okay, we're fine with materials. Now we're looking at labor. And that was in September. So now here's January. They got their second one. You're now talking a year and a half from the original estimate that IMPA told them. You're looking at spending this much. 2 Harbor Homes. You're looking at spending this much to have this worked out. And it's still all basically in line. So 6.2% ended up being about $24,000, which isn't significant when you talk about almost $1 million deal, but at the same time, it's still 6.2%. I'm just letting you know, the process has started again. I'll wait to hear from them. I'm sure there's going to be concerns, but my message to them at this point is going to be, hey, this is what it is. Either do it or not do it. They have taken out a few more building permits for additional homes. It was 6. I want to say they're up to 9 now. They are making the commitment, more pads, put footers out there and start to construct. I mean, in other words, they have somebody who bought a lot and said, hey, this is the home model I want, build it for me. So they are moving ahead. Sooner or later, they're gonna have to face the fact, this is what it's gonna take to get it done.
Yeah, all labor costs have gone up.
And I don't think.
And at
any
the
of
turn of the
this
year-
is gonna go down.
Yeah, no, it's only going to go up. All labor costs have gone up. Insurance has gone up. Everything goes up.
Another interesting thing I have for you, and this is simply a side note, this is not to be, again, a wise guy. For those of you who are not aware, Nashville, Indiana, a big tourist site, is now under a boil water alert. They've had another water main break right now. So since we did ours in summer, they had one previously. And I shared with you guys some of the comments on their chatter page type things, and they're all positive. They're all supportive. No one was criticizing. No one was coming down. No one was threatening lawsuits. The same thing happened again. And what I did was I pulled up some of their company's responses on their little
Just like social media.
comic. Yeah. This is Hard Truth Distilling Company. An important update from Hard Truth Distilling Company. Due to a water main break and ongoing boil water advisory, our tourist center will be closed today. Our restaurant will open as soon as water pressure is restored. We appreciate your patience and understanding as utility crews work to resolve this issue. The boil water advisory expected to remain in effect until Friday, January 16th at 4 p.m. Stay tuned for updates. Pretty positive.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming. We'll see you as soon as we get back open.
Yeah.
National General Store and Bakeries. Due to the boil advisory in town, which extends through Friday at 6 p.m., will be closed through Friday. We'll reopen Saturday morning at 9 a.m. See you all on Saturday. Bird's Nest Cafe. Due to the water main break, we're closing the cafe this morning till the water is back on. Sorry for inconvenience. Pretty just straightforward. Nobody's throwing blame. Nobody, which is the way their reaction was the first time. And that place is full of nothing but restaurants and tourist sites. So my point is this, when we went through ours, the reaction I got from IDEM was, hey, because I thought IDEM would be down first. I thought they'd be out the door. They weren't. They're not going to let us know when you get fixed. I thought, that's odd. And then as I talked to him, I found out more information. It's an everyday occurrence. It's a regular occurrence in the state of Indiana for some communities somewhere to be on boil water advisory because of a water main break. It just happens. No matter if it's from a drilling rig, a earth movement, just an old pipe finally, it does. So again, you are who you are and how you react to it. It happens. Unfortunately, we went through one. We took care of it right away. It's behind us. Let's move on. But sometimes we don't. I'm just sharing with you another community right this moment that's going through a very similar thing and the different reactions. I have meeting minutes for you guys to sign. And other than that, I'll have a couple things afterward we can go over.
All right. So with that, we close our meeting. Thank you.